The business name, Tiny Green Cabins. The tiny because the small spaces. Cabins because I wanted something romantic. I don't want to be named houses because everybody seemed to be naming houses. This was 6-7 years ago, and so I wanted something a little bit more romantic. Everybody thought about cabins as being a little bit nostalgic and romantic. So I figured that green came in because of the Packers. How I got into construction was I come from Peschua, Wisconsin. I went to the University of Minnesota, St. Paul campus for School of Forestry because I liked working with wood and I liked being outside. A friend of mine had a church that he was building in Cannon Falls, Minnesota, and he asked me if I wanted to work with him as an apprentice. And I fell in love with carpentry at that point. My carpentry experience, I like building things, I like creating, and they said, come up with something. Figure out what you can do. I was at a retreat in northern Minnesota and picked up a book, Little Houses. And I looked at that and I thought, gee, you know, I can do that. I got the space to do it. I can do it by myself. I don't need a big shop or anything like that. And so I started building tiny houses. That's how, where I came up at that retreat, where I came up with the name too at the same time. It took me a year to get the website up, another 6 months before the first project was sold. I always loved American Gothic, Carpenter Gothic, and so the Ravenlour, purple, pink, and lime green one, I grabbed some architectural features out of a house in South Carolina and put it into that house. And so creating that one. And matter of fact, the one that's sitting on the floor right now, the Ravenlour 2, which is slightly bigger than that one, is going to have the same color scheme as that one. That one is purple, pink, and green. The one out there is going to be green, purple, and pink. The whole body is basically going to be green, and the green, where the green was, going to become the purple because they really like the purple. And that house put me on the map as far as a lot of people noticing me. And I was getting calls and emails from Israel, Great Britain, France, Germany, Scandinavia, and even China about wanting to know what they could do to get that tiny house. The hurdles that I had to overcome in the business was marketing, because I focused on national instead of local. And that changed in about 2 years ago, and all of a sudden I had calls from local, and I built 2 tiny houses for people from local markets now. That was one hurdle. The other hurdle that I've always found challenging is that we're always trying something new. And so we're always on a learning curve. Recently we've just picked up an Airstream to retrofit into non-toxic status. And my son told me that, Dad, you gotta be crazy, don't you ever learn how to say no? And I said, well, I learn by doing, and so I can say yes, and then I can learn that I'm not gonna do that again. So that's how I learned not to say I won't do that again. But the Airstream, I think it might be a good venture for another part of the business. The biggest inspiration for me why I took the Airstream project was because they wanted non-toxic. And they wanted to completely gut it and turn it apart. And to be honest, I steal ideas from RVs. And so this was going to give me a first-hand experience to see how they put an Airstream together, how they use their space, their technology and stuff they put into it, and how they micromanage all that. And then a lot of that I can bring right into tiny houses. People call me up and ask me about floor plans, and the first place I tell them is go look at an RV. See an RV tiny house. See what they're doing and see what they can work, what a floor plan in there looks like, and see if there's something in there that might interest you. I love what I do. It's fun business to be in. It's creative. It allows me to do things that I wasn't able to do before. I get to meet new people. I get new experiences. I grew up with that mentality of you take something and you make it better. You keep on creating with it. And you always help out your fellow man and your fellow people. Glad to have you here. We got a wrap.